Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
Do you want to go to war, Balake? I'm for real. Ron.
Ron is back, everybody. Stream number 2 for the day. Thank you all for joining me. Okay, update in the lawsuit against David Miscavige. David Miscavige, a.k.a. Captain Keebler, a.k.a. Scientology's boss baby. He is being sued, as many of you probably already know, if you're regular viewers of this channel. David Miscavige, along with a handful of Scientology organizations, are being sued by 3 former members, former Sea Org members, for, can I say this word 30 seconds into a video? Probably not. God, the YouTube rules are killing me. Okay. David Miscavige is being sued in a labor trafficking suit. I think you can say labor. I think you can say the T word as long as you put labor in front of it. Anyway, this suit's been going on since like April of last year. David Miscavige spent like 8 months, 10 months hiding from process servers. Everyone in Scientology pretended like, David Miscavige who? We've never heard of him. We don't know where he is. He was finally, just a couple weeks ago, a magistrate judge in this case ruled that David Miscavige is officially served, is officially a defendant in this case, is officially subject to the jurisdiction of the courts, and gave David Miscavige 10 days, I believe it was 10 days, to file his official response to the first amended complaint in this suit. And here, I will share this screen with you. Boom. Before we discuss it, I'm going to summarize it because I'm not just going to sit here and read the issue. The issue is actually pretty, there are parts of this thing that I've read 5 or 6 times, and the language being used in this thing is very hard to follow. Here's the crux of the matter. David Miscavige's attorney, David Miscavige, has essentially filed a motion here, or whatever you want to call it, saying, Judge, we couldn't possibly submit our response to the court, our response to the complaint, by the deadline, because we haven't even filed our objection to your motion ruling that Miscavige has been served in the first place. And they haven't, I mean, really, it's getting so ridiculous. I mean, the judge, so there's the federal district judge in this case, and then there's the magistrate judge who he delegated the issue to regarding, you know, the issue of whether Miscavige had been served in the case or not. I don't know how the judges are going to keep putting up with this little guy and his shenanigans like this. We can't possibly meet the deadline you've given us to respond to the issues in the case because we haven't yet had time to object to your ruling that Miscavige has even been served in the first place. That's literally what this ruling is, guys. Okay, so let me actually show it to you. Blow it up here nice and big. Okay, so this was just filed a few days ago, actually. Gawain Baxter, Laura Baxter, Valeska Paris against David Miscavige, Church of Scientology et al. Defendant David Miscavige's time-sensitive motion. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, guys. They're like, by the way, this is time-sensitive. We want you to rule on this by tomorrow. Defendant David Miscavige's time-sensitive motion for an enlargement of time to respond to the first amended complaint. I promised I wouldn't just read you the entire document, and I'm not going to. This first part here, number 1, this paragraph, this is the paragraph that I've read it a couple times. And the parts of the sentences that refer to another part of the sentence that refer back to another part of the sentence makes this paragraph almost impossible to read and follow. So I'm not going to try. This is Miscavige saying that he hasn't subjected himself to the jurisdiction of the court yet. The deadline for Mr. Miscavige to respond to the first amended complaint is March 7th. However, Mr. Miscavige will be filing timely objections to the order on the grounds that the order is clearly erroneous and contrary to the law. Miscavige has already had 2 weeks to file whatever objection or complaint he's going to file to the order that he was served. And he hasn't, but he wants the court to give him extra time. Scientology has all the time in the world. It's all they do have is time. All right, let's see. Mr. Miscavige now seeks an enlargement of the deadline. Well, he wishes he could get an enlargement for him to respond to the first amended complaint until and including 21 days from the date of the court's ruling on Mr. Miscavige's objections, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's get to something mildly interesting here. First, Mr. Miscavige currently faces a situation in which he must prepare a response to the first amended complaint without knowing whether the court will sustain the objections and set aside the order deeming him served. All right, for whatever reason, I feel compelled to check my microphone and make sure it's the right one. Okay, good, it is. Spoiler alert, I seriously doubt the court is going to sustain the objection and set aside the order deeming him served. But what do I know, guys? I grew up in a cult. Mr. Miscavige and his counsel will expend significant time and effort in preparing a response to the First Amendment complaint while also preparing the objections to be timely filed. However, Mr. Miscavige and his counsel will needlessly expend that time and effort if the court sustains the objection. The requested enlargement will allow Mr. Miscavige, along with the court and plaintiffs, to conserve time and resources. Yes, that is what Scientology is really concerned with, conserving time and resources. Second, without the requested enlargement of time, the mere passage of time will effectively deny Mr. Miscavige the relief he seeks in objecting to the order of the magistrate judge, subjecting him to irreparable harm. Without the enlargement of time, Mr. Miscavige will be required to participate in these proceedings with all attendant burdens, including answering or moving to dismiss the amended complaint as though he has been properly served and made a litigant, though he contends he was not. Again, he's had 2 weeks to file his argument for why he has not been properly served. The balls on these attorneys that come back after 2 weeks and be like, oh my God, we can't meet our deadlines. We haven't even submitted our complaint to the last thing you ruled on. Third, and relatedly, if Mr. Miscavige responds to the first amended complaint before the court addresses his objections, plaintiffs may argue that he has subjected himself to the court's jurisdiction before the court rules on the objections, thereby defeating the objection's purpose of challenging the magistrate judge's conclusion that he was served. Man, if I was the judge, I would be really pissed off with these guys. But I mean, I guess that comes with the territory. I mean, this is the sort of legal maneuvering and gamesmanship that, you know, lawyers get paid to do. So perhaps it's just so commonplace that this is nothing. Maybe this is just like water off of these judges' back. But man, I would be pissed. I would be so pissed. But I guess that's why I'm not a judge. Okay, therefore, good cause exists to grant the requested enlargement of time. I don't know. There's just something so humorous to me about a word, David Miscavige and enlargement appearing next to each other so many times in a legal filing. Okay, let's see. Wherefore, defendant David Miscavige requests that this court grant this motion and enter an order enlarging the time for him to respond to the first amended complaint. That's too many words for me, guys. I'm skipping that one. I'm bailing on that one. Okay, and that was the end of it. Bill Schiaffino Jr., Esquire. For all of you attorneys out there, judges out there, any of you working in the legal profession, is there really no professional shame that one assumes for representing someone like David Miscavige and Scientology? I mean, I know everyone's worthy of representation. Everyone deserves representation. That's how our legal system works. I understand that. Is there really no professional shame for taking Scientology's money and making all these absolutely ridiculous arguments on Scientology's behalf? Do you not get shunned a little bit at the country club? I mean, not at all, really. Just seems so unlikely to me. Well, I mean, that's all there is to report on this issue. Let me just make sure I address any chats. I swear to God, there's like 2 more live streams I want to do, even before we do the Mondays with Mike at 7 p.m. And I'm doing my best just to keep them concise as possible. Okay, I see Dave Owens here. So DM is saying he did find out he'd been served. The fact he's filing an objection proves he heard about it. Good luck, Davey. You'll need it. Yeah, Dave. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you know, the common understanding of what it means to be served is just that you're aware of a lawsuit, that a lawsuit is taking place. Miscavige doesn't even deny that he's aware of the lawsuit. He just denies that the plaintiff's attorneys have jumped through sufficient hoops to find him. Like, it's really strange. It really is strange. But that's what it is. Okay, let me see if there's anything else. I don't want to ignore anything. Give me a sec. Okay, good. That's all we got, guys. Won't drag this out any longer than it needs to be. Stay tuned. Much more to come. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe